Hi, George. How are you?
Good.
I'm Jen. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi. So I just want to start by saying, in terms of confidentiality, everything you say is confidential unless it gets subpoenaed for some reason or you say that you want to hurt yourself or somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have to discuss this with your parole officer.
Okay.
Okay. So, just so you know, I'm going to ask you some questions, just an overview about like your employment history, education history, family history, social history, just to get an idea of who you are and how I can best help you.
Okay.
So I know I read a little about your case. Do you mind if I take some notes, by the way? Just so I can remember everything you say. I don't have to ask you to repeat the same thing over.
That's fine.
Okay, thanks. So I read about your case, but I would rather hear it from you, like your side of the story. So where would you like to start?
I guess I'll start with the fact that I'm here because I was arrested a bunch of times for drug possession and burglary, but my most recent arrest was for rape. But I raped a prostitute. They said that I raped a prostitute, but I don't know how that's possible if you're having sex with someone that wants to have sex with you and it's rape. I mean, it wasn't necessarily consensual, but she got into my car and let me do what I wanted with her. So I don't know why I'm here, and quite frankly, I'm pissed. But I mean, the last 10 years of my life, I've just been living a life of bullshit.
Okay. Bullshit, how?
I've been robbing people's homes. I've been stealing from people. I've been selling drugs. Been partying a lot, using a lot of drugs. I don't know, just like the typical convicted felon that you see here every day. I don't know why you have to ask me that.
Well, in my experience, no two people are alike, even two convicted felons. So I see you as an individual, and I am going to treat you that way. So my questions will reflect that.
Okay.
So how long have you been arrested before? You said you've been robbing people and dealing drugs.
I was arrested for possession and burglary a bunch of times, but this is my first time in prison, and I'm here because of rape. I'm now a level 2 sex offender.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
Is that a real question?
Yeah. I mean, I have
How do I
expectations
feel about being
for
a
how-
sex offender?
Yeah. You tell me.
I mean, it's really awful. I'm gonna have this thing. I'm gonna be on a registry for the rest of my life, and anytime I try and move into a home with any sort of future wife that would be crazy to marry someone that's a registered sex offender, everyone will know. My kids, if I ever have any, which I doubt I will at this point now, will have a father that's a sex offender, will get teased for the rest of their life and tortured, and the rest of my life is just kind of nothing now.
Yeah.
I'm here for another 8 years, and I'll be, I don't even know how old I'll be 42 when I get out of here.
Okay.
So, I'm not that great, I'm not that happy.
I can understand that. So ultimately, you feel like you don't deserve to be here because you don't feel like you did rape the prostitute.
Yeah.
And now it's going to screw up your life.
Correct.
Okay. If at any point if I summarize what you said, and I miss something or I get something wrong, like for some reason I misunderstood what you said, please correct me. Feel free to correct me. I just want to make sure I have everything right.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't mind now, I would like to start with what it was like growing up for you. So, let's start with family. Did you have a good relationships with your family?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, so obviously I grew up Hispanic in a Hispanic home. My parents were good people. My dad worked as a salesman. My mom was a school counselor. And they were really loving people. I didn't deserve to be with loving parents. I was a horrible child. When I was 16 years old, I left my house. I didn't have any siblings. But my family environment was normal. I had my own room, a nice big room. I had a TV. My mom would make dinner for us every night. We'd sit together. You know, it was great. I had a good childhood. And I screwed it all up.
So you said you don't feel like you deserve to have such good parents.
Yeah.
So why not?
Because I ruined them. I broke their heart. I stopped speaking to them about 5 years ago after I was arrested for the 5th time. They've been begging me to come home, but I moved to New York City when I was, between the age of 16 and 17. I left. Didn't finish high school. Just ran away to New York City and started doing drugs. Got involved with the wrong people, and since I've been 16, my life's been a shitstorm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really difficult to have that, to hold that pain, it sounds like, and guilt. Okay. So, alright, just going off that, you said you went to New York City, and got involved with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Did you go to New York City for a job, or what made you decide to go to New York City?
I wanted to move away from my parents. I wasn't liking that they were still coddling me and spoiling me and breathing down my neck every time I wanted to do anything. They were just too much, and I left, and I hitchhiked to New York City, and I've been in the state of New York ever since.
Okay. And what age did you say you came to New York? I'm sorry.
16.
Wow.
Between 16 and 17.
Wow. What was that like? 'Cause that sounds pretty young and like intimidating to be in such a big city.
Yeah. Initially, I mean, this was 15 years ago, but I loved it. I loved that I was just a number, and that no one knew anything about me, and that no one was judging me, and telling me what to do. I was my own person in a city where I could make my own decisions. And to me, that was a really big deal. So, you know, it was exciting, but it quickly dwindled out when I became addicted to drugs. So.
What kind of drugs?
Marijuana, cocaine. I tried heroin once. Didn't like it. K2 a bunch of times. Tried some barbiturates.
And you said you dealt drugs too. Did you do all of them, or?
I dealt pretty much every drug under the sun.
Okay.
But I only tried those that I mentioned.
Did you get caught dealing all of them, or?
Yeah. Well,
because I saw on your record it said you were arrested for possession.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So then, sorry, I'm gonna skip around a little. So now I want to go back to your childhood. What were your social interactions like? Did you have a lot of friends? Were you involved in sports? Any after school clubs?
So when I was growing up, especially when I was in elementary school, I stopped going.
Wow.
Yeah. I was about 7 and I stopped going to school. I would tell the principal my mom died, my dad died, my grandma died, my grandpa died. Eventually they thought I was an orphan. And obviously the principal would call my house and my parents would find out that I lied about death, and I got in trouble for that. And it was kind of from then on, from about the age of 7 or 8, my parents have always been on my back. And then to piss them off even more, I started killing animals. Just to piss them off, I'd leave them in their bathroom.
Wow. That's pretty drastic.
Well, I was 7 when I stopped going to school. But, I started killing animals when I was about 13.
Did you ever go back to school?
No.
So why, was there a reason that you stopped going to school? Like, were you being bullied, or?
No, I was the bully, if anything. But
just didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it. I didn't like that my parents were making me go. I didn't like that my English wasn't that great. I didn't like that teachers made me feel like I was different. Like all my classmates were white and I was the only Hispanic boy.
That sounds difficult.
Yeah. But I did what was best for me at the time and I left and broke my parents' heart. And I was their only child. I have no siblings, so I was really kind of the only one.
Wow. Sounds tough. Okay. So did you have any desire to ever go back to school?
Sure. I'm going to try and get my GED here while I'm in prison.
That's good.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that could open a lot of doors for you. Okay, so now I want to go to your employment history. So, what was the last job you had?
Well, now that I think of it, I don't think I've ever really had a legitimate job. I've been a drug dealer.
Okay. And you made enough money to support yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
You'd be amazed what people pay for drugs and how much you can make as a drug dealer. Have you ever heard of,
What category?
It's a Netflix show called Narcos,
Mhm.
and it's about the Mexican drug dealer, Pablo Escobar.
Mm-hmm.
He was making it rain.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like him.
For what reason?
Money.
Okay.
And then he never had a real job. He was just the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you grow up like him? Like, what made you so focused on money? Like, did you grow up poor?
No, I didn't grow up poor. I always told people I grew up poor, but I didn't. I never had to ask for money. My parents just always gave me money when I was growing up, but then I left it all.
Okay. So you felt like you had to tell people that you were poor?
I always wanted to play the victim, yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't want people to think I was a bad person, and I wanted people to think that I had to do the things I did out of force, but I didn't.
Okay. Okay. But just because you stole, dropped out of school, that doesn't make you a bad person.
I agree.
Okay. So, now I think we're just about done. I just want to ask you about your medical history. So, have you had any surgeries? Been hospitalized? Any
No.
like diseases in your family or illnesses?
No.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Never broken a bone?
No.
No accidents, like brain injuries?
No.
Okay, good. Good for you.
Thanks.
Okay, so I just want to end with what goals you have. Like, since you're mandated to see me, like, you might as well take advantage of the opportunity. So if you, like, are having any issues you want to work through or something's bothering you, I'm here for you. You can talk to me. So if anything is pressing on your mind now that you think you would want to work on and spend more time on, like, feel free to let me know.
Right now, no, but I think for the first time, I'm going to start taking advantage of positive resources that I have in my life. I didn't do it with my parents, I didn't do it with school, but now that I'm older and I realize everything that is at stake for me now, I want to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to think about it and get back to you.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll meet again next week?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Have a good week.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
You too.